This just in, former housing secretary and San Antonio Mayor Julian Castro has dropped out of the 2020 presidential race.
So we're just getting the news, just moments ago, honestly, that Julian Castro is dropping out of the presidential race. Not entirely unexpected. He didn't make the last debate. He's been hanging out around 1% in the polls.
Caitlin, first, I want to get your immediate reaction to this breaking news. What do you make of Julian Castro dropping out of the race?
That's right. Julian Castro just tweeted that he is dropping out of the race. This comes a month before the Iowa caucuses, but also as we've seen those final fourth quarter fundraising numbers from the other candidates. And you've seen a lot of those candidates bring in a lot of money, especially candidates like Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg. So this is coming at a time that candidates are reassessing their campaigns, figuring out what resources they have to make it to Iowa and then potentially beyond. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more dropouts in the next 30 days.
Let's be very clear. The reason that they're separating these little children from their families is that they're using Section 1325 of that act, which criminalizes coming across the border, to incarcerate the parents and then separate them. Some of us on this stage have called to end that section, to terminate it. Some, like Congressman O'Rourke, have not. And I want to challenge all of the candidates to do that.
But I do think that Julian Castro, speaking for someone on the right, the one thing I remember the most about his candidacy is the first or second debate when he declared that men can have babies.
Right.
And that was the bombshell, I think, for those on the right that was like, what? This is what you want to make a centerpiece of your campaign? And I think it goes back to this idea that sort of that social liberalism, I think, might be slightly still out of touch or out of step with the rest of America.
He definitely went in on some of the sort of woke signaling.
Yeah.
About millions of folks. A lot of folks that are coming are not seeking asylum. A lot of them are undocumented immigrants, right? And you said recently that the reason you didn't want to repeal Section 1325 was because you were concerned about human trafficking and drug trafficking. But let me tell you what, Section 18, Title 18 of the U.S. Code, Title 21, and Title 22 already cover human trafficking. I think that you should do your homework on this issue. If you did your homework on this issue, you would know that we should repeal this section.
I'm just saying, if you ask Democratic primary voters their issue preferences, immigration does not rate up there nearly as highly as those on the right.
Right.
Well, I'm wondering, if maybe some of this protection on immigration or not talking about it is because of Joe Biden to some extent. Because, he was complicit in a lot of the Obama-era immigration policies, which animated the left to some extent.
Very testy about it,
right?
too.
Yes, he is very testy about it. But 3 million families were deported, or 3 million individuals were deported. We know the Obama administration also put kids in cages because Democrats keep putting up pictures they think were from the Trump era, which actually were from 2014.
What do you think about considering Julian Castro as vice president?
Well, I think really highly of him, and I am thrilled to have his endorsement today. Both he and his brother, the congressman, are just among the best young leaders in America, regardless of category or the fact that they come from San Antonio. So I am going to really look hard at him for anything, because that's how good he is, and he deserves the accolades he's receiving.
Right.